PNR here.
Yes, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. First, I want to thank you for making the time to come and do this interview with the platform and myself. Um, Today, we really want to get into who is Jesse James Clarke. So, could you give us, say he's a scientist, so could you give us a rundown of, your education and where you're coming from and stuff like that for the people? Just jump right into it.
All right. Good afternoon to you and your listeners, and it's a pleasure to be on your program. All right. So I'm Jesse James Clarke. I'm originally from Black River, St. Elizabeth. I've been in Kingston for many years now. Came to Kingston to study and just never left. So I'm both a medical technologist. So that's the persons who do all of the testing in the lab. Whenever you have any, whether it's blood samples or whatever testing you need to be done in the lab. And I'm also a food scientist. So, particularly focusing on food quality. So, anything to do with the microbial quality of food or anything like that, that's me. I also have an interest in product development. So, because I love creation and developing new things. So, that's pretty what it is. I grew up in a healthcare family. My mom was a midwife. I have two sisters that are nurse. They're both nurses. So, I've been around healthcare for some time now, and it's a field that I'm passionate about too personally, because if you don't have health, you don't have anything else. So, health and agriculture, two very important things. Which, because if you're not healthy, if you don't eat properly, you can't be healthy. So they are
Mm-hmm.
both connected at the hip. And if you're not healthy and you're not eating properly, you can't learn either. So it
Mm-hmm.
also affects education. So yes, so that's me. And I enjoy politics a lot. I like discussing new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I like just relaxing with my friends. So that's a little bit about me, in a nutshell.
Okay, so very interesting. You said you talked about your education in your family. Where did those roots come from? It seems like your family is definitely big on education.
Yeah, I'm coming from a regular civil servant family. Um, my mom was a midwife, as I said to you before. She was the first one in on her side to really step out and
Mm-hmm.
to get like a formalized education at university. So, coming from grassroots, really. Uh, my daddy was retired by the time I was born because he had me up in his 60s.
Whoa,
So
that's interesting. Yeah.
yes, so he was retired. Was a retired fireman and police officer abroad. So
Oh.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So he was a fireman here in Jamaica. That was his last job.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
man.
So
So
is a family of service people, man.
no, absolutely. And I always tell people one of the things I enjoyed growing up is when you live in a rural area. So when we were living, I spent a little time in Newmarket. I was away from Black River for a little bit, living in Newmarket for a bit. And when you're in rural Jamaica and you're a midwife, people just go and call you nurse just the same. And
Mm-hmm.
and you have a lot of home deliveries and so on. So it was fun at the time. It was fun for me, to go to my mommy up in the hills and valleys to check on pregnant women before they
Mm-hmm.
have baby, when they have baby, and after when they have baby and all of that. Help her pack the bags for deliveries and so on. So I enjoyed that. So it is part of me, just giving excellent service through your civil, through whatever your profession is.
Right.
Um, by is a religious family too as well. So
Right.
we believe that you should use your profession to serve God.
Right.
So we go extra hard at whatever we have responsibility for that reason, because that's our way of servicing and giving praise and thanks. It's not just the clapping and the singing and all that, but
Right.
it is the practical ways in which you help people too.
Right. I have some pictures playing that he sent me. I see you do a lot of work in the community, you know. So you definitely
Yeah.
has followed that trend of service to your community. Now, in terms of politics, I mean, what
hmm
what what is your personal goal which you'd like to achieve? What type of stamp would you like to leave when Jesse James Clarke, hopefully grow old like him father and have,
Yes.
the media and retire from all of this? What would you
Yes.
like to do? What kind of mark
I
you would
would
like to
I would
leave?
love I would love what would be my ultimate dream is
Mm-hmm.
just I would love to see at the end of the day, or if it don't have to get to retirement, but after
Mm.
a certain period of time,
Right.
um to see if it's even one community being transformed, you have some communities that are developing. I call them developing communities because I don't
Right.
really like the term garrison or ghetto or anything like that. So I love
Yes.
developing because it means you're going somewhere when you say
Right.
developing community.
Right.
So when you have these developing communities, when I see them actually making progress, you have more persons getting educated, more persons um climbing the social ladder, becoming more productive members of society. The
Mm-hmm.
physical infrastructure of the place look better. That's what I want to see. So if I can see that in some of the communities, I would have been really happy with myself. And then when you can have by that time persons coming back to you and you're seeing how personally the human resource has developed over time. You see, persons come back now and you know them when they were young and you grow with them and now they are professionals. So you're creating the environment to produce more professionals. That's really my what I would love to do. That's what I want to be my hallmark. Improve the living conditions of everybody. So
Right.
that's something I'm definitely passionate about. And because of a health background, I have a passion for public health. So I want to see those things being done. Because the environment can affect how you think and
Mm.
your progress.
Right.
Just your physical environment. And sometimes because it's not something you can feel physically, most times people ignore the importance of it.
Yeah.
Your behavior most times will follow your environment.
Yeah. It's quite interconnected.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
In terms of your skill set, well,
Hmm.
your education, you talked about food.
Hmm.
I see that the
Hmm.
People's National Party is very heavy on agriculture.
Hmm.
What would you bring to the People's National Party in that effort where our food security is concerned, and you talked about health as well, so that all ties into
Yeah.
it. Mm,
All right. So in my mind, there was a time in CXC where they used to give a double award when you do agriculture. I get both the um biology degree, the biology subject as well as the agricultural subject, and there's a
mm,
reason for that. They are heavily connected. So health is heavily connected to agriculture. Um, what we have to do for both health and agriculture, and your research and development most times start from agriculture and then spills over into health, is that we have to focus on research and development. So we have to
mm,
start see how we can create not only our raw materials that we need to plant to produce our food, but also methods of the entire process of producing our food and creating value added products. So if you're not creating value added products, you're losing the value of whatever you're doing. So for example, um, if you want to make a particular drink or whatever, you need caffeine. We're a coffee producing country and coffee has in caffeine, but you can't go anywhere and get caffeine to buy that easily.
right,
You understand? So producing those products from whatever the raw material that we're producing is going to be key in terms of moving forward. And as relates to health too as well, creating drugs from our plants that we have here and our herbs and so on, and even using our scientists to create new molecules and all that. So we have the talent here. It's just that we need to create the environment again for us to see the full potential of it. Because when you think about it, we're a chicken country in terms of we eat a lot of chicken. Right around the clock, we eat chicken.
right.
But we have to import the fertilized eggs most times, and we still import chicken on top of that too. You
Mm,
understand? So even we're not importing the food itself, we're importing the starting material. So you might not be importing melons for argument's sake, but you're importing the melon seeds. You understand me?
right, right,
So that is where we need to focus on now, the research and development, which is going to give you an edge. Because the playing field is level there in terms of is just what you're able to produce. If it works, you're ahead of the game, and it don't matter your size. So
right.
we can actually do that. So while in flat out raw material producing, we might not have the edge because we don't have enough physical space to compete with some of the larger countries. But we can focus on the science and development, and that is something that we can, or that's a skill that is very valuable that you can make money from if you have person skill in that area. So the research and development is going to be critical. I think as a country we need to start the journey now of creating our own drugs too as well, so that
Mm,
we can treat some of the diseases that we are having here locally. So I believe since we have such a high prevalence of certain cancers and diabetes and hypertension, we should be the leaders in treating those type of illnesses. So we
right.
should be the specialists in every area of treating those illnesses and their complications.
Right.
So we need to start that journey because, to create a drug is not something you can do overnight, but we need to
No.
start the journey so that down the line we can eventually get to that point where we are producing some of our drugs. So that's really what is going to bring us out of that. Is research and development. You can't get away from that.
Yeah. So in terms of those ideas, have you
Mhm.
brought that to the comrade leader?
No man, I've been speaking on this. It's something I've been saying from I became junior shadow spokesperson for health and wellness. And now that we're in the conference season,
Mm-hmm.
wherever I go and I have
The
the
vote. Right.
ears of the public, I make sure I say it.
Right.
So your platform is also one of them because we have to start get our people thinking in that way.
Yes.
They
Yes.
don't think that
Yes.
these things are like far fetched or out of their reach. It's
Mm-hmm.
not. We are on top in terms of music. Um, we are some of the best artists coming out of Jamaica. The
Mm-hmm.
same thing for sports. If we can produce the number one in the world, beating everybody else in the world for sports, we can do it in other areas too, and we
Of
can even get
course.
stronger in these areas that we are already
Strong
um,
in. Right.
blessed in. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. So it's something that we can do. We can also have the best scientists and the best products and the best drugs coming from Jamaica.
Right. Man.
Hmm.
I appreciate the scientific you know angle because coding and trading is something that I believe that Jamaica should be pushing in our education system and talk about that. You know, you come from the same education system. You're obviously a very, very bright individual. You're a scientist. You know, where do you see where did we go wrong in the education system in the last few years where we're having these results? What is your take on that? Where
Well,
kids
well,
coming out of
listening.
school and can't even read.
Yes,
That's
well.
crazy.
Yeah, because part of the problem is that the schools that needs the most attention get the least attention.
Mm-hmm.
The schools that are non-traditional that don't necessarily have a strong all boys or all girls association or alumni. It's a problem for them. They struggle, and they are normally in some of your tougher communities too as well, and they have some of your tougher students that need extra attention about the not only academic intervention but the social intervention too as
Right.
well,
Right.
and they don't get that, and you find that these schools tend to be overcrowded too as well. So it and in terms of the teachers, they're just overwhelmed with all of what they have to do. It's a lot of work for them. So that is a big part of the problem, and we can just be forcing everybody down a particular channel.
Right.
People learn in different ways and have different skills. And and I can tell you, it's the skills people making the money now.
Yeah, so
you
trading
know
and coding and trading
I
would
see.
be a
I saw
focus.
somebody. Yeah, I saw a French man selling a bedroom set for $500,000,
What?
and that's just one bedroom set. It's a nice bedroom set. Still, it's a king size bedroom set and
Wow.
just and everything. But it's pretty.
Wow.
Four posts and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have customers who will buy high end furniture like that.
Of course.
So it you can make money at different areas. You have a shortage of skilled persons now. You want a good plumber, sometimes it's difficult to find, or the ones that are good, they have so much work to do. They don't have time for your
Mm-hmm.
small project at
Right.
home. You understand?
Right.
So we need persons like that because you cannot build infrastructure without those persons.
Mm-hmm.
So you need the engineers, you need the builders, you need all of that. So we now have to see how best we can encourage and integrate skills in our classrooms from early out, and focus on the things, teach our children things that will actually solve problems that we are facing in the society. It's not just learning for learning sake. You're learning because you want to be good at fixing a particular problem or have the skills to fix a particular problem. So that is where we need to start going, training for our population to fix our problem. That's where we have to learn. and,
What?
and give the schools that need the attention and the extra funding the funding that they need. We have to do that.
I don't
Can't get
know.
away from that.
I don't know if this is your area of expertise, but you talked
Hmm.
about one of the problems that we have on the training so that we can fix our own problems. The road them, Mr. James Clarke. The
Hmm.
road them. Do we have people in Jamaica that is competent in building good roads? Why do we?
Hmm.
Why you think we have to go to foreign companies to to fix our roads? Is it that we're doing things the wrong way? I really, it's a big problem because the road them fix and then the rain fall a
Hmm.
bit and then the road them mash up. What do you think of the problem? What we need to approach that long term, short term, and mid term?
Yes. So one of the problems, well, there's a lot of problems there. It's a complicated problem, but we do have the skills here. We do have the skills here. You know, we might need a little government backing to get it to another level,
Right.
and to make sure that we finish things on time. But it's
Mm-hmm.
about just being disciplined with whatever we take on projects, finishing them on time.
Mm-hmm.
So instilling that professionalism, because sometimes people look at their work as like a hustle. And it's not a hustle, it's a
Mm-hmm.
serious business you're in.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So
Mm-hmm.
if you're doing upholstery, you can't just see it as a hustle, it's a serious business.
Right.
You understand? You have to run it like that. So when you give your clients deadlines and so on, you have to stick to the deadline. And if you're not going to make the deadline, you have to communicate that. And you understand?
Right.
You have to run it like a real business. So I think that is probably one of the ends we need to work on. But we have it's not a shortage of the skills and the talent. And
Right.
we also have to take bold steps too, and increase the civic pride and the love for our country, so that we step out and want to do things to help our country.
Right.
Because sometimes we're doing some of these road projects in some communities. We need to ask the community to come out and help and volunteer and help to get the work done
Mm-hmm.
and so on. And not just see it as just like a food eating thing all the time and so on.
Right.
And when we are building roads too as well, we have to make sure that we have proper drainage, because once you have water running on the road,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to deteriorate quickly. No matter how well you do it, it's going to deteriorate quickly.
Yes.
So one of the things you see, especially like in Kingston, the road seems like it's the biggest drainage network, because that's where the water run whenever rain falls.
Right.
So you find it's going to erode the road quickly, no matter how well you do it. So we have to plan with putting drainage in space and in place. And in some areas where you have, because of the soil type or geological activity, in terms of like minor tremors, earthquakes, and so on, you might have to consider things are consistent rainfall. You might have to think about concrete roads in some section, in some areas, some communities. But it's something that can be done, and you have to maintain anything you have. You have to maintain it. Anything at all, yeah, it has to be maintained. So we have to have that maintenance happening of the road, so small problems don't turn into big problems. So yeah.
It would help. It would help if the drains are cleaned every 3 months in Jamaica, and that would also increase in
Hmm.
some
Yeah, man, absolutely, because that will come under your maintenance.
right,
So,
right.
hmm
I
so
guess
you have to do that.
I guess that's not being done enough.
No, and again, sometimes because of the money that is allocated to do these things,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the funding just isn't there.
Right.
You know, from a government point of view. So that's why I say sometimes what we might have to do now, if we want to get to that next level, we need the cooperation of the citizens,
Citizens, yeah.
and yeah, man, and just increasing that civic pride and training the relevant persons too as well, so that we're not short on certain technical expertise, and getting it done. But it can be done. We have the talent here. It's not a shortage of talent. That I am absolutely sure of. It's not a shortage of talent. You know. Let me tell you a story. Sometimes you might see, I see a little young you would pull along a bike. You know, pull
Mm-hmm.
it down, fix it, put it back up, and fix
Oh,
everybody bike, but him can't read properly.
oh my God.
But it's not. But it's not. But to be able to do that,
That yeah,
it's mechanical
yeah.
engineering. That you
He's a
understand.
doer.
So
He's a doer. He's a technical
yes.
mind. Yeah.
So this and the school system have to facilitate persons like
Those
that.
like that. Yeah. He uses.
Yes, who
He
learn
learns through
hands
his
on like
eyes
that
and the
too.
hands on. Right.
Yes, a
Right.
child like that is not going to sit down and learn in a classroom.
No.
It's
No.
not going to happen.
Mm-mm.
You have to carry them out in the field and give them
Yeah,
things to
man.
actually do for them to learn.
Yes, it's a in the field
Mm.
mind. That it's a in the
Yeah,
field mind.
absolutely.
And
So as I'm saying,
they have
how
to find a way how to train those type or teach those type of youth how to read in the field.
absolutely,
You have to get really
absolutely,
creative with that, to be honest.
absolutely.
So when they call that person dunce, no,
No, it's
that's
not a
not a
dunce
dunce
person.
person.
It's not
That's
a.
not a dunce
I
person.
can't go even further. Just being able to ride a bike,
Hmm.
you're not done, because it's a complicated activity. It's just that these young people make it look easy.
Yeah, Yeah.
Mm,
I'm not
but it's
riding
not
no
that
bikes
easy.
though. I'm not riding no bikes. I believe you. I ain't riding no
Yeah.
bikes. Mm-mm.
Mm. No, it's dangerous. It's absolutely dangerous. But I'm just saying, it takes tremendous skill, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So
So,
in your constituency, what are some of the challenges there? Sassy 81, how are you doing?
uh,
That you
well,
have
just like everywhere in
that you have
Jamaica,
observed.
we have, yeah, just like everywhere in Jamaica, we also have a little security problem.
Mm.
Um, in terms of persons feeling safe, crime and violence is a problem.
Oh man.
Um, so that is also a problem. But infrastructure is also a problem. There are some communities that need formalization and upgrading,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to take a lot of work. So,
Yeah.
we try and do the best we can, little over time. But the infrastructure is old, and you have some informal communities that needs to be regularized. Um, yeah, and in terms of, you have a lot of young people who need jobs
Yeah.
and so on. That is something that you get calls about that every day. People want jobs, and you know and all of that. So it's really about getting the economy going, getting in different initiatives, getting the skills to these persons too as well. Because it takes a lot of money to to really bring some of these persons through whatever program you're putting them in,
Right.
because
Yes.
of the other social factors. Now somebody might want to learn a skill as a young person, but they have to work because they now have a child.
Right. Right.
And sometimes they have to make a decision between going to work or learning the skill
Are
to
learning
upgrade
the
themselves,
skill.
and they just have to choose work.
They don't have the flexibility with the
And they just
job.
end up just choosing work. Right. So we have to
Mm-hmm.
we have to, we have to create that type of system that can accommodate young people like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes they take so long to go back that end up getting into more trouble before you can return back to some sort of training.
Yes.
You know.
And
So yeah.
there's something that I saw. I don't remember the lady online. But Sassy 81 is in the chat. She knows what I'm talking. She has this home for women that, especially young
Mhm.
girls, that have
Mhm.
baby while at school, and
Yes.
they they take care of that child in those
Mhm.
times that young lady probably has to go to school to get
Yes.
her degree, and
Mhm.
also, yes, and I graduated the other day. I'm going to find the link and send it to you. I believe
Yes,
we
man. I
need
would
some
love
type.
that.
I think we need some type of system like that in Jamaica, so we can keep
Mhm.
our kids in school, even when they make a mistake like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, they need that type
Because
of
life isn't
support.
perfect,
Yeah, life not perfect. They need that type of
Mhm.
support. You see me? I say so.
Mhm.
I'll go and send you that link. But which constituency you in again?
I'm in the Trafalgar division. That's in
Trafalgar
Southeast St
Division,
Andrew. So that's
Southeast
it.
St
Yeah. So
Andrew.
that's in Julian's constituency.
Oh,
Julian
Julian, Mr.
Robinson.
Robinson.
Yeah, Comrade Julian Robinson.
My
Yes.
God, Mr. Robinson have a lot of work, you know. It's a good thing is the finance minister them get. So he probably can allocate some things and get that community
Yeah,
on the
man.
road to the right path, cause
Yeah, man. And I can tell he has been doing an excellent job in
yeah,
terms of guiding me through the process and everything. I really appreciate that.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, it's a blessing to work with an MP like that.
My goodness.
We make the most with whatever we get.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As an economist should, you know what I mean? That's what they do.
Mhm.
Sometimes they do the impossible. You know what I'm saying? But
Absolutely.
I see you in a picture here, man, going down one of these trains, man. I mean, it look like you do
Yeah,
some
man.
serious groundwork. You talk about people do outside work. It look like you do some serious outside work, man.
Yeah,
Cause
man. I actually enjoy that part of it.
you really enjoy
And you get
this.
to learn things. Yeah, man.
Wow.
And you get to learn different skills too as well. When you're outside with the guys working and everything, you learn a lot too.
Wow.
So I enjoy doing that.
Yeah,
I
man.
enjoy doing the hands-on part of things.
Right. You
Yeah,
really have a scientific mind, because a scientific mind is one that always love to discover more. So learning is like a
absolutely.
drug to a scientific mind. You can't
Yeah,
get
man.
enough.
I enjoy it, man.
Can't get
Yeah, man. I
enough.
really enjoy it, man.
Um,
Yes.
well, I don't know if I want to ask this question or if I can answer it, But when the PMP wins, um, have you been touted as to which area that your expertise will be needed?
No, so for me, and I always tell people is I never never base anything that you're doing on like a particular,
Mm-hmm.
position or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just focus on giving the best service you can in whatever area you are, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever comes. But it's just about focusing on helping what in the people with whatever area you are, whatever you have responsibility for. So right now I have a division. My first time counselor too as well. So I'm focusing on that and giving my attention and making sure that my MP get out his votes on that side so that he can have a wonderful victory. So it's about just doing the work now to ensure that we win. I mean, the party isn't short on talent. There are many talented young people in the party and everything. So we just do the best with whatever era we have. The most important thing now for us is just make sure that we do everything we can to ensure that we push through the line, because this one going to require everything that we have. This one going to really push us. It's going to be a long one. So we're going to do everything that we can and just continue to do the work. It's the work the people going to really make the decision on. So that is the important thing.
Well, if there was a message that you would want to send to the people of Jamaica, the most important message you could send to them right now, if there was a million people watching, what would that be?
Uh, One, I will tell them you have to think about the future of your children. And even if you didn't get certain opportunities, make sure your kids have that kind of opportunity or access to it. So everything you do, you have to be thinking about, is this getting my kids, going to put my kids in a better position, or the next generation in a better position. So it make you think twice about everything that you'll do, your personal actions, and don't underestimate the impact your personal actions can have on an entire generation. So be very deliberate about what you do and how you do it, and just give up your best, and just have love and respect for everybody, and we will definitely come out better off. Just love and respect. So I will just push for that, and I believe the PNP is a party that is going to ensure that we pull up persons from the ground up and take them to our next level. So I'd want them to give their support to the People's National Party and to give them the opportunity to do that for Jamaica, especially at this point in time, because we need responsible leadership now to run the country.
Well said. Well, I want to
Mm,
thank you for joining us, Mr.
yes.
Jesse James Clarke. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, man, no
I
problem at
hope
all.
it's not the last. And one last thing, you know,
Mhm.
if is there, if any, personal ambitions you have within this space politically, um, yeah, that's the only thing I would like
No,
to ask.
no, man, just like what I said to you, my only ambition before I entered politics, and it still is just that I want to look back um, after the years have passed and to
Hmm.
see that I actually made a difference.
Right.
I can see tangible things in how a particular community have been upgraded, and that would be the greatest thing for me. It's even one community, and a group of and the individuals from that community too as well. That would be um, a lifetime achievement for me. You know, so
Humility, I
I
love that.
I'll be happy with that. Mhm.
Humility, I love that, and you believe in the Most High and knowing the Most High. I love that.
Yeah,
Boy,
man, absolutely.
boy, I tell you, hey, big up Splash DGR, man. You bring another man where you can just talking to him and listening to you, Mr. Clarke. I wish you all the best and
Yeah,
Godspeed with
man.
everything we are doing. And just
Yes,
continue to
thank you.
continue to serve the right way. You understand?
Yes.
And I hope that the children and everybody will touch around you. They just elevate from just looking at what you're doing and just follow your lead. You understand? Because you're
I,
definitely on the right path.
yes, absolutely. And thank you so much for the opportunity, and also big up to yourself and your listeners, and continue doing the good work on your platform. All right.
Yeah, man, respect. Bless up.
All right. Thanks. Yeah, man. Blessings.
Wow. Wow. Dr. Jesse James Clarke, thank you again. You understand, ladies and gentlemen? Another exclusive. Again, shout out to Splash Digi. And I'll be posting this video, you know. I'm recording it, so I'll be posting it so you guys can reference it and share it with people. Big thank you to Dr. Jesse James Clarke and Splash Digi. Alright? For making this one. And tomorrow, I'm supposed to have tomorrow at 3 p.m. ladies and gentlemen. I'm supposed to have none other than we have tomorrow Splash Digi. Dr. Raymond Price. Yeah man, 3 p.m. tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. That Sunday, the 1st of June. Dr. Raymond Price. Another on-call interview. Yes. As they come, you know. I saw it, you know. So you guys can look out for that one tomorrow. Alright? I'm telling you, the PMP has some solid people, genuinely clean-hearted people that wants good for this country. And I'm praying that God gives the PMP the opportunity so these people can shine in service of the Jamaican people and make God proud. Alright? Somebody said if you ask Mr. Clarke if him can be the next PM when Mark polling time finish. Them really mean the country well, man. Them really mean the country well. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section.